Kennedy. Gentlemen, good to have you both on the show. Erwin, I saw you put out the website today about the merger. So is that a sign that things are still moving forward here between you two?
Things are always moving forward, Sarah, and we're excited about it. And Tilray got their numbers out last week, which were very good. And the teams have been working together to, put the companies together. We have filed with the SEC, the proxy, waiting for, our comments back, and hopefully we'll start a mailing, and we're ready to go. These two, businesses together will create the largest retail sales cannabis company in the world, with great footprints in Europe, great footprints in Canada, and a business in the U.S. And, we'll be ready when legalization happens in the U.S. and with our balance sheet, with our knowledge. And, with that, we just want to get this done and move forward.
Brendan, we just showed GameStop, which is moving again. Cannabis stocks did get swept into the retail mania a bit and did get some love on the Reddit boards. What's it like watching your stock price, which has been on an even crazier ride than normal for cannabis?
There was a bit of PTSD based on experience I had back September 19th of 2018 to go through it. Again, someone described it as post-traumatic short disorder. And so, we try not to pay attention to day-to-day volatility. I've been in this industry for 11 years, and I really take a long view. And that's really what led us to this combination. The combined company will have a leadership position in Canada, a leadership position, and a great foundation for a massive market in Europe. And a foothold and foundation for whatever comes in terms of legalization in the U.S.
Owen, how hopeful are you that full legalization comes through in the U.S. in the foreseeable future? Or is this still a 5-10 year type event?
Listen, Wilbur, 10 years out, I'm not sure. I hope it's in the next 2 to 3 years. But even without legalization, we'll have a great business in Canada. Europe, which, Europe quite well, with over 600 million people, will have a strong international business in the medical business there. I'm a big believer that legalization may happen in Germany and Portugal and some other countries before the U.S., and we'll be one of the largest cannabis company in the medical world in Europe. In regards to the U.S., listen, we have a great, beverage alcohol business in Sweetwater beer. Manitoba Harvest. We will look at other acquisitions in the U.S. I think the SAFE Bank and I think medical cannabis will legalize here over the next couple of years. I think there's going to be an opportunity to ship product from Canada into the U.S. from a medical standpoint. And with the SAFE Bank Act, it will bring lots of dollars. And the big thing is, with the free at Tilray combination, we'll be, the only company out there in the cannabis that has a footprint throughout the global part of the world. And we'll be able to do something in the U.S. once we know what we can do. And right now, listen, there's a lot of unknown what will happen in the U.S., but we'll have the balance sheet, we'll have the knowledge, we'll have the brands, we'll have the technology to be able to make a major impact once legalization happens. So I say full legalization in the next 2 to 3 years, Wilbur.
So, but we're starting to see it in states. I mentioned New Jersey at the top, Brendan, and Governor Murphy signing new legislation there. How do you guys, as Canadian companies, and eventually as one company, play in that space? Can you sell in New Jersey as a Canadian company right now? And if not, what's the plan for gaining more of a foothold so that you can be a player as more states legalize?
Well, go ahead, Brendan.
I was just going to say, in terms of entrance into the U.S. from a THC perspective, what we can do now is build a foundation with Sweetwater and Manitoba Harvest. At Manitoba Harvest, we have CBD products available in the U.S. But more importantly, like Erwin said, I think prohibition ends in the United States in the next 12 to 18 months. I think that around the world, we export medical cannabis products, GMP products, to 17 countries. In all of those countries, those products are available in pharmacies. We've done, I think, 6-7 imports now from Canada into the U.S. with DEA and FDA approval. And so I do think that there is a very likely probability that we will be able to import medical cannabis into the U.S. for distribution in pharmacies. In terms of being able to sell adult use in a state like New Jersey, we really need a fix at the federal level, and that's what we're expecting relatively soon, 12 to 18 months. New Jersey, obviously, huge step in the last 48 hours. I think that we'll likely see an adult use measure in Ohio in November, and we'll also start to see states such as New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island legalize adult use through the legislative branch and executive branch, which we really haven't seen much in the U.S. And so I'm optimistic about being able to deliver products into the U.S. In terms of the THC market over the next 2 years.
Owen, you guys have your deal. You've got your website now as well, as we mentioned. Do you think there will be much more consolidation to come across the industry in the years ahead?
I think absolutely, Wilbur. I think consolidation in this industry, in Canada alone, there's over 500 LPs. I think, you got a lot of MSOs in the U.S. And with that, I mean, Sarah's question before, how do we play a part in New Jersey or Connecticut? We easily can parlay, other products in the consumer products, in the alcohol products that ultimately have the opportunity to convert to, cannabis products in the THC. And I think, what Brendan said before is we have a strong medical business in Canada. We'll have we have a strong medical business in Europe. And I think medical cannabis is something that will legalize very shortly and will be a big player in it. And ultimately will allow us, to move in to recreational once it legalized. But there's no reason tomorrow we cannot expand upon our Manitoba Harvest or our Sweetwater business and doing drinks with CBD or food with CBD or hemp, or just getting the distribution out there with the products when it is permissible, that we can go into those different areas with THC in those products.
Erwin, what about the stock price? Does it put pressure on you to do more acquisitions? And also, how do you think about the path to profitability, given expectations are so raised now for both of these companies to come together?
Great question. Listen, when the combined companies will have, somewhere between a $12 to $15 billion market cap company. And again, as we say, forget about, the stock is very important, but how do you build a good company? And together, we will build a lot of EBITDA. I'm a big believer in building on cash. We will drive a lot of cash out of this business. There's over $100+ million of Canadian dollars in synergies that will come out of this business. And we'll do over $1 billion in sales with the combined company. And yes, knowing me, Sarah, I will do other acquisitions that make sense, that will strategically set us up when cannabis is legalized either from a rec standpoint, that we can parlay these businesses into the THC or the medical business when that happens. But yeah, acquisitions will be a part of our growth.